Like, you just... Alright. Greetings, Royals. It is Constance with QueenlyMe.com, your place for tips and inspiration on Christian living, dating, and relationships. What I'm here to do is talk about my homegirl Sarah's book, Don't Settle for Sex. Listen. If you don't know who Sarah Jakes Roberts is, first of all, I'm gonna need you to come up a little higher. She is T.D. Jakes' daughter. Now, if you don't know who T.D. Jakes is, Google it. I'm not even about to. If you don't know who T.D. Jakes is, I cannot help you. But she is T.D. Jakes' daughter. She is a pastor, empowerment agent for women, just a bomb woman. She's a boss. She has her own clothing line, which is really, really dope. And she's just real. The reason I wanted to read this book was because Sarah Jakes Roberts is somebody I've been following on social media. I follow her on YouTube. I watch her sermons. I listen to her speak. You know, some people can have a good, like, 2 or 3 videos, and then it's like, okay, well, those were good videos. But no, she, like, hits it out the park every single time. And it just made me be like, that's God. Like, that is God. Not to mention, we have some similarities. Not just like, oh, you like that? Me too. But similarities in the fact of, I struggle with this. And now that she's gotten to a place where, like, her struggles have turned into strengths, I'm like, okay, for a person who's still struggling with that, I need to know more about you. How did you get from point A to point Q? And help me. Now, don't get me wrong. She went through a lot of stuff that I didn't go through. Praise be to God. But some things I'm like, okay, girl, I need help with that. So, and I just want to know more about people's story, what motivates them, what makes them tick. So that's why I wanted to read this book. Her book is called Don't Settle for Safe, Embracing the Uncomfortable to Become Unstoppable. What's keeping you from living the amazing life God dreamed up for you, boo-boo? What? This book is gonna let you know. What I loved about this book is that the wisdom that's in here, she lived. Some people, and this is very possible, some people receive wisdom on things that they personally didn't have to go through. They just received wisdom and, you know, was a channel for God. That's great. That's amazing. But the wisdom that's in this book, she was able to write it because she literally lived it. And that just brings a certain realness that we all need. Like, it allows it to hold more weight. That's what I love about this book. What I didn't like about this book is that it kept stepping on my toes. I am a perfectionist, okay? I don't like to think that I have a lot of improving to do, even though I do. I'm a hot doggone mess. Pray for me, y'all. It's a journey. Every page that I turned, I was having to say, ouch. She was all up in my business. She was coming right to my front door. But that's not necessarily a bad thing because it needs to happen in order for growth. So I literally did grow and mature while I was reading this book. It's really crazy. This book is for people who are tired of being stuck and stagnant. People who know that their life is supposed to be so much more than it is right now. People who have been through some things and want to heal from them, but they just don't know where to start. If you just really want to bust out of your box and spread your wings and fly to your place of prosperity, that was very dramatic, but this book is for you. Okay, so now I'm going to dive into this book and share some of my favorite quotes from each chapter, which is going to be a challenge because I pretty much got this whole book highlighted, starred, and underlined. As you can see, I have all these notes, sticky notes in there. So, funny story, this is actually my mom's book. And my mama, she buys books all the time with really good intentions, but she doesn't really actually read all of them. So a lot of times when I go home and I'm visiting, I will snag a book and be like, can I have this? Because you know you're not going to read it. Well, I didn't do that with this book. I saw it. It was currently in my cart on Amazon, and I saw it on the kitchen table, and I snatched it. And I read like the first 2 chapters. I got ready to come back here to Atlanta, and I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I stole your book and I'm gonna read it. You know, I'll give it back or whatever. And she was like, oh, I bought that book for a teenage girl at church. And I was like, oh, yeah, felt kind of bad about it. But she was like, you know what? She says she's not even done reading the book I gave her before this one, so just go ahead and keep it. And I was like, praise be to God. But yeah, like the first two chapters are completely clean, because I was like, just in case I got to give this back to her, let me not write all up in it like I do my own books. But after that, it was fair game. It was on, okay? If you write all up in your books like I do, thumbs up and leave a comment down below, because listen, the studying is real. The betterment is real. I'm gonna play around and take notes in my book. This quote is from the first chapter, I believe. It's called No More Excuses. And it says, oh girl, you better get ready. Hold on to your edges, because they gonna fly right off. When we create a culture that congratulated men on their ability to hide their... Am I recording? Okay. That's the scariest feeling. My God, today, tonight, this evening. When we create a culture that congratulated men on their ability to hide their emotions, juggle multiple relationships, and resist vulnerability, we run the risk of producing men who internalize fears and who break hearts rather than protect them. This comes from chapter 2 called Find Your Weaves. Sometimes we can't fully comprehend our lack because we're too busy pretending we don't have any. Now, I just told y'all I was a perfectionist. And I made a whole entire living out of portraying myself as if I don't have any flaws or anything to work on. I stayed stagnant for so long because I was too busy trying to pretend like I was perfect. I ain't got time for that right now. I will air all my business out. I do it every week on this here channel. Don't believe me? Look at the rest of my videos. Another quote from this chapter: surviving painful experiences is good, but the danger comes when we don't take the time to actually recover. How many of us have been through traumatic experience and then just kept it pushing? Girl, you need to sit down. You need to take some time, call out of work, let it hurt, comprehend it, deal with it, and then move on. Sometimes we just put band-aids over axe wounds thinking that, oh, I'm fine. Didn't even hurt. Doesn't even faze me. No, we can see you bleeding is the thing. Take time to recover, okay? This is from chapter 4 called Know Your Roots. Expecting pain in the future takes away your joy in the present. How many of us are operating from a future of pain that probably will never happen? If God could give us a glimpse of our future, and we could see that a lot of things that we're worried about and anxious about aren't even going to happen, we would live our lives so much differently from day to day. I'm just saying. Speaking of roots, when insecurities lay silently buried within us, they become barriers in our families, in the whole family. Those barriers prohibit our families from fully bridging together to overcome generational mindsets that limit growth. The sad reality is that your awakening may come before your family is ready to embrace the vulnerability necessary to evolve. So when we decide to grow, people are going to have negative feelings about it. You wouldn't think like, okay, if I'm trying to better myself and I'm trying to improve and mature and develop, people should be happy about that. But a lot of times when we try to do better, it kind of points out to other people that they need to be doing better, but instead of joining in the journey with you, they have a tendency to reject your growth. That's one of those uncomfortable things that you're going to have to embrace if you want to become unstoppable. That was a hard truth for me, because whenever I started to just like switch up my career and, you know, my focus in life, and really try to get an understanding of what my purpose was, I didn't get, not that people were against me per se, but I really didn't get an overwhelming flood of support and encouragement at first, because a lot of people were just, I guess, confused by it. I am doing a lot of things that is new for my entire bloodline. At first I kind of felt like I gotta do this by myself with just me and God, then I guess just so be it. But it wasn't that they weren't being supportive, they just didn't really understand. But had I just kept it safe and stayed where I was and did what I knew, then that would have affected them in ways that they don't even understand. Ooh, girl, this one is good. Okay. Ooh, I'm excited to read this one. Did you know that your obstacles were assigned by God? This blessed me, because I hear a lot of people say, like, why would God allow this to happen? Why would God do this to me? Why would he let this happen to me? This is the answer to that question. Praise God for Sarah. Okay. There will be moments in your life when you question if your life is full of dead ends, but avoid placing a stop sign where God placed only a yield. Sometimes God has to allow other people to go ahead of you so that the path can be clear when you get there. Listen, certain things happen in our life and we think like, it's over, it's done. My life will never be the same. My life is ruined. God, why did you allow this to happen? A lot of times God uses us as examples because he can trust us with certain pain that he can't trust other people with. But if we just go through things first and allow our testimony to be seen and told to others, then that puts them on the right path when they're going through the same things. So we can't just fall apart and be like, God, why did you let this happen? We have to see God in these situations, no matter how hard it is. And we can't just think about the pain that we're going through all the time. It ain't all about you. It's not all about you. I'm talking to me now because I have a hard time getting that in my mind. Now, for all of my people who got parent issues with their parents, this set me free. Life will require that you see your parents not as heroes who let you down, but as humans trying to get things right in spite of their own struggles. You'll have to see them the way God sees them, not the way you needed them to be. Mama, Daddy. Having a child does not automatically give you all the answers, okay? Our parents are just doing their best, and sometimes their best is painful to us, but they're humans. They're not just your parents, they're humans. Love it. Okay, for the people who want to know, if y'all got some real ones in y'all circle, if you want to know the test of a good friendship, listen up. The core of a friendship is a deep understanding of who the person you're engaging is. In the best circumstances, they will be wise counsel. Wisdom. Number 1. Their opinions will only lead you back to a place of centering with God. They won't encourage you to stay in situations that increase your dysfunction. They'll be sensitive when you need to make decisions on your own, but honest when you ask for their advice. True friends do not boast in either joy or judgment when they see you in your weakest moments. Instead, friendships should serve as shelter from the storms that life is promised to bring. Some of y'all need to be giving y'all besties the side eye. Do they pass this test? Hello? Anyone? Ooh. Piggybacking off of that. Oh, this is such a hard truth, y'all. Oh my gosh. See, my toes getting stepped on all over again. Oh, this chapter is entitled Frenemies, by the way. I just dove right in. I think it's the 5th chapter. There will come a point on this journey when you begin to understand that you've created intimate connections with people who are attracted to your dysfunction and therefore can only remain loyal as long as you stay there. If you start to come up, if you start to improve, and they kind of, if you express a need to just like get your life together and stop doing foolishness, and they are always have a way to pull you back in, they connected with you in the midst of dysfunction. And without that dysfunction, you're going to see, it's going to be completely clear that y'all have nothing in common and that your friendship does not contribute to either one of y'all's destinies. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Chapter 6, Forgive and Remember. First of all, that title, come on with it. If you can recognize that people hurt you, whether intentionally or unintentionally, because when we get hurt, our automatic thing is, you should have known, you did that on purpose, she did that because of this. Some people have no idea that they've hurt you. And you're just mad, and they sleeping at night. They don't even know they did anything wrong. If you can recognize that people hurt you, whether intentionally or unintentionally, because of their own brokenness, you will begin to have a level of empathy towards them. Our own pain blinds us from seeing others' pain. We're often so desperate for validation from someone else that we fail to see their humanity. Again, same thing with your friends as with your parents. You can't be so blinded by your own pain and your own struggles that you fail to see that they're struggling and in pain too. We can only do what we know. And it's not because they wanted to live a life like that. They might not have had the resources in order to properly heal, just like me and you. You have to understand that people do the best they can, and sometimes their best is hurtful to you. People who do bad things are not evil. Often they are broken. You're about to see people in a whole new light. A whole new light. You cannot force someone to forgive you, but your life doesn't have to be stagnant while they determine whether they can afford to give you another chance. There are times when, in lieu of waiting for someone's forgiveness, you must choose to forgive yourself and move forward with your life armed with changed behavior. Just because you ask for forgiveness doesn't mean you're always going to get it. But just because someone won't forgive you does not mean that you have to put your growth on hold. Like, you don't have to wait for their forgiveness. You don't need their forgiveness or their permission to keep it moving. Do your part. Apologize. Ask for forgiveness. If you don't get it, okay. That's fine. So as you are asking for forgiveness from others, you have to forgive yourself, so that whether you get their forgiveness or not, you are still able to know that you did your part and you can move forward and let them just stew in whatever they want to be resentful about. So this is another chapter called Connecting with God. And this is real, y'all. This is real. I remember hearing the phrase God-fearing Christian. I thought that it meant we should be afraid of what will happen if we disappoint God. I'm now coming to the realization that we should be in such close relationship with Him that we're afraid to do life without Him. The mere thought of making life decisions or destiny-altering choices without first praying and hearing from Him should be scary. Without God fearing. That's the kind of Christian I am. I literally don't want to pop a piece of chocolate in my mouth without asking God, is it okay first? We throw these church phrases around a whole lot, and a lot of us are using it, but we ourselves don't really even know what it means. Because I've been a God-fearing Christian where I was like, okay, if I do this, I'm going to go straight to hell, and I ain't got time. that spoke for me. Now y'all know how I feel about purpose. She's got a chapter entitled Purpose, and I'm about to dive in. You do not choose purpose. Purpose chooses you. Hello? When something on the inside of you connects with what's happening outside of you, it's a sign that a portion of your life is a part of the solution. The first step to fulfilling your purpose is allowing yourself to have one. If you have a strong aversion to something but constantly have the opportunity to do it, your purpose may be tracking you down. The first thing to understand about purpose is that it will always be rooted in service toward the betterment of humanity. Your purpose is the answer to a problem that plagues our world. How does it feel to know that God saw an issue in the world and then created you? Me? What? God did not put you together and be like, okay, what am I going to use this little thing for? What's this? Glitter, because you know I be sparkling or whatever. You are the answer to a question. You are the solution to a problem. That is called your purpose. So really pay attention to the things that aggravate you. Things that are just like, ugh, I cannot stand when this happened. I cannot stand that this is an issue that we face in the world. I just cannot with this. Because that might be a sign of the answer that you might be for an issue. And listen to this revelation, honey. Losing can give you an edge that winning doesn't afford you. Losing makes you desperate to get better, do more, and work harder. Every loss carries with it an opportunity for you to examine your actions and thoughts and make sure that they are perfectly aligned with what God has for you. So this is from the chapter entitled Intimacy, Relationships. Listen, purpose, relationships, stories, like this book just gave me life. True intimacy is when two souls begin to intertwine in such a way that you can no longer tell where one person's soul begins and where the other's ends. It's so beautiful. This is a section in this chapter entitled Boys versus Men, Hong Night. If you find yourself repeatedly falling for boys pretending to be men, you must ask yourself what the little girl inside of you is crying out for. Been there. Don't give another person permission to hold your heart unless you know their hands belong to God. Loving someone with all of your heart means trusting them with your brokenness too. You gotta make sure they got clean, godly hands to be handling your brokenness. Because a lot of people don't even trust people enough to show them those things, much less, here, these are my broken pieces, and I would love if you could spend your life helping me put them back together. What? Or I would love for you to spend your life loving me in spite of all these pieces that I'm presenting you with. This is what I have. Is it enough for you? That's a very vulnerable process. If you want to constantly win at this thing called love, you have to be willing to let go of every misconception you've ever had about relationships and roles. There's no perfect formula for finding your mate, but there's a heart posture that allows you to see and choose wisely whom God has for you. So for all my people trying to figure out who's the one, how do I get the one, there you go. It starts with your heart. Get in the right posture and God will bring them to you. Hello, hello, hello. That's good right there. You are the hero you've been looking for. So put on your cape, get off your knees. Stop begging for someone to love you. Love yourself. Seek God and all other things will be added to you. That's all we've got to do. There's so many more that I want to read. I'm not even to the end of my notes. However, you're going to have to get this book because you need it. And if you didn't, you wouldn't have lasted this long in this video unless you just watch it because you love me. Which is a strong possibility, right? Right, right. And look at me, begging people to love me. Come on, Sarah. Help your people. I hope that you will get this book because it is going to bless your life. Get another look at it. Don't settle for safe. safe is not the best way. I pray that you enjoyed this. I plan to do a lot more book reviews, so let me know if you liked it, and I will see you same place next week.